Hello everyone, my name is Sohail Sham. I am Assistant Professor in Management Studies. Welcome to my 10th lecture on the subject Management Process and Organizational Behavior. In today's lecture, we'll be discussing on the topic Scientific Management Theory by Frederick Winslow Taylor as a classical theory of management. In today's lecture, we'll be discussing on Introduction, Principles and Techniques of Scientific Management. Scientific management theory is the subcategorization of classical theories of management. According to Taylor, the objective of this theory is to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of the employees in the organization who are working for the organization so that they may be maximum productivity in the commodity market. And our organization plays a major role in maximization of productivity in the commodity market. So this is the major role, and this is all about the scientific management theory of Frederick Winslow Taylor. So today we'll be discussing this theory in detail. Let's start with the topic Scientific Management Theory by Frederick Winslow Taylor. Introduction. Scientific management theory is also known as scientific management approach. It is introduced by Frederick Winslow Taylor, who was also known as father of scientific management. And he was basically an American mechanical engineer and management scientist in USA. His all contribution and theories are also known as Taylorism. Scientific management is an art of knowing exactly what the manager wants its manpower to do and observing that they are performing it in the best and cheapest way. Right. So here the manager has to analyze that what functioning he want to do, and he want to take from others, employees, other subordinate in the organization, so that there may be maximum productivity in the organization and there is best use of scarce resources in the cheapest way. Aim is to identifying the management problems arises in the organization and to increase the professional efficiency of the employees by maximum productivity. Right. So the objective and the aim of this scientific management theory, according to F.W. Taylor, is to knowing the management problem, right? Identifying and notifying this management problem and overcoming this problem by increasing the professional efficiency of the workers and employees working in the organization for maximum productivity, right? Classical theories are related to the production, maximum production, and scientific management theory is the subcategorization of classical theories, right? So that's why the major objective and needs of this classical management theory is to maximization of productivity by increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of the employees working for the organization, right? Coming to the next, principles of scientific management theory. The first principle is use of science and not rule of thumb. It is related to using of science and experimenting in day-to-day activities instead of following the rules and regulation and following the certain working procedure of the working procedure of the work which has been performed by our previous managers and previous ancestral process which are following in this process. We must also follow the process, but at same time we have to analyze the environment internally and externally, and we have to make use of science, we have to make use of latest technology, latest effort, right? For the development of the education, for the society and for the development of the organization as well, so that the employees may get more efficient, more effective by making use of these technologies in the organization for maximization of productivity, right? So there must be use of science, there must be use of experiment, there must be use of all the internal with the various factors of production, the manpower and the human and non-human resources are effectively utilized with the help of science, with the help of experiment, rather than only using of rule of thumb, which are certain norms and which are certain things which the our ancestors and the employees previously have been followed in the organization. Instead of following the same situation, the same norm, we have to follow the rule of science in the organization for the betterment of the efficiency level of the employees and for the betterment for the productivity of the organization as well. Right. So this is the first principle of scientific management, that applying of rule of science instead of rule of thumb. Second point, second principle is harmony, not discord. It is related to harmony between the workers and management. Right. There must be proper harmony, cooperation, coordination, and effort by the workers and management. And the management should make the workers to perform in an effective way by providing, facilitating all the necessities, all the resources which help the workers and employees for working effectively in the organization and for getting maximum productivity for the organization. So there must be a harmony, there must be a sound relationship between the managers, between the supervisors and the subordinate in the organization. Right. So this is the second principle, harmony, not discord. Third principle of scientific management is mental revolution. Mental revolution is related to change in the attitude of workers and management towards each other. Right. So it is related to, the managers, the supervisors, and the subordinates both should realize the importance of each other in an organization, and they must work in a cooperative manner so that organizational goals can be achieved without any barriers. Right. So there must be mental revolution between each other at supervisory and subordinative level, and between the supervisory and subordinative level, so that there may be maximum productivity without any barrier, and there must be increase in the profits of the organization. Right. So this will be the third principle of scientific management theory. Fourth principle, cooperation, not individualism. Right. It is related to harmony, again harmony, and not discord. And it is related to cooperation. It is related to the group effort, the division of work and responsibility, division of work responsibility between the two groups, right, and specifying of duties and allocation of work in the right form, and fulfilling the needs of the employees, and fulfilling the needs for a conversion of raw material into finished product, so that availability of the raw material, availability of the machinery, all the human and non-human factors should be collaborated in an effective way by the manager, so that the productivity has to be increased. Right. So there must be cooperation, not individualism. Right. So there must be a group effort between the employees, and at any level, at maybe at supervisory, at subordinative, there must be a group effort for a common objective. There must not be individualism. Right. So there must be a group effort, a cooperation, a harmony between the employees who are working for the organization for achievement of organizational goals and wants, and for maximization of the productivity in the organization. So this will be the fourth principle of scientific management. The last principle says development of each and every employee to his greatest efficiency and prosperity. It is related to developing the employees in the basis of providing them training. Right. So if we provide training to the employees will get more efficient and more effective. The working performance of the employees will get more effective. Right. So for increasing the efficiency of the employees, we have to train the employees. We have to train the worker. Right. And we have to provide them special training, orientation workshops, and we have to make an indoor and outdoor training sessions if there is applicable in the organization for the concerned work which has to be performed by the workers in the organization. And we have to guide, subordinate, and we have to supervise the employees in the organization, so that the workers can work on the right basis and the right vision for the upliftment of the organization, for the maximum productivity, and for continuous functioning in the smoothest way in the organization. So there must be every employee have to be very greater efficiency and prosperity, right? They have to work with greater efficiency can be increased when there will be trained workers in the organization, and training is very essential for every organization. For every employee working in an organization, there is on the job training and off the job training, and there is also training for the existing employees, as well as there is training for the new employees who had recruited just for the working in the organization, right? So the training plays a major role, right? Scientific approach, and this is all about the work assigned to each employee should physical, mental, intellectual capabilities, right? According to their capabilities of the working of the worker, the work has to be assigned by the manager, so that he or she can perform those functioning those work in the right and effective way, and it may not harm the mental health, it may not harm the physical standards of the individual, of the employees working in the organization, for the organization, right? So there must be proper allocation of resources, there must be proper training, there must be proper supervision, and knowing the effort of the individual, and if the employees are working at the best possible way, and if the employee is working in the best and the cheapest way, then that employee has to be motivated, and that employee has to be considered as the for him is applicable for bonuses, incentives, and so on, right? So there must be some appreciation, some upliftment, some appraisal to those employees who is working at more efficient level in comparison to the other employees, right? So here the development of the employees by greater the efficiency of the employees, right? So this is all about the various principles, the 5 principles which are given by F.W. Taylor in scientific management theory. Hope you have understanding these principles. Coming to the next, techniques of scientific management theory. Scientific management theory, according to F.W. Taylor, there are various techniques that have to be followed and adopted for an organization for effective utilization of human resource, so that the efficiency of the employees can increase and productivity may get in the higher extent. So the first technique is work study. Work study is knowing actually, and it is examination of human work in all contents, and it basically leads to the systematically investigation of all the factors which affect the efficiency of an economy and efficiency of the employees working for the organization, right? So basically studying examining the workforce in the organization is related to work study. For this examination, we have 4 subcategorization, right, through which we can examine the working of the employees in an organization. The first is method study. Method study is related to knowing knowing the right method, and by supervising and by guiding the employees for a right method, and for conduction to know the best method of doing the job in an organization, right? Next is motion study. Motion study is related to involves the close observation of movement of body and limbs of an individual required to perform a job, right? So it is related to the movement of the manpower in the organization, that what are the minimum what will be the minimum movement of manpower which is related to fulfillment of particular task in the organization, right? So in this study we will notify this factor. Third, time study and work measurement. Time study and work measurement is related to measuring the various techniques of measuring and observing and recording the time required by the workman of reasonable skills and the ability to perform each element of the task in the job. Right, it is related to basically the measurement of time, measurement of recording of time, and observing the time limit which are performed by the employees in the organization for fulfillment, for performing particular task in the organization, so that there may be comparison, there may be evaluation of the proper and right time which has to be given for accomplishment of certain fulfillment of certain goals in the organization to the particular employee. right? So it is the related to time study. The last, fatigue study. Fatigue study is very essential because fatigue study is related to the physical and mental health of the employees and worker who is working efficiently in the organization. Right. So in fatigue study is basically helpful in reducing the fatigue among the workers. Right. Fatigue is generally caused by working hours, maximum working hours, and if there is no peace in the organization, and what are the various factors why the employees and why the workers are getting fatigue very soon or something like that. Right. So it is basically related to studying the mental and physical ability of the employees working in the organization, that what are the various capacities and capabilities of the employees and how to improve these capabilities and capacities of the employees in the organization, right? So there are several measures to fulfill these needs of the working performance of the organization, right? So the first technique is the work study. Work study is related to four subdivisions, four categorization, in which there will be study of the method, the motion study, the time study, and the fatigue study of the employees in the organization. Coming to the next technique of scientific management, is standardization of tools and equipment. Now it is related to standardization. Standardization is would help to reduce the spoilage and wastage of material and to improve the quality of work, and it also helps in reducing the cost of production in the organization, right? So there must be standardization of tools, equipment, and all the necessary resources which are used and which are necessary for the conversion of raw material into finished product to the employees or workers working for it, right? So this is the second technique, that providing of right tools and techniques to the employees and workers. Third technique is scientific task setting. Right, scientific task setting is basically related and to the setting of tasks. Right, the clear vision about the task, the goals of the organization, the goals of the department, and the goals of the employees who has given certain tasks to perform within the time limit. Right, so it is very essential to set standard tasks and standard time for the accomplishment of that task. Right, so there must be a specific task setting in the organization so that the work can be achieved within the time limit, and there must be no conflict. There must be, maximum productivity on the organization the same way. Right, next, scientific setting of wage rate. Scientific setting of wage rate is related to, the Taylor suggests and advise that the different piece wage system should be implemented in the organization, in which under this system the higher rate are offered to those workers who produce more than the other standard quality. In comparison to the employees who are working less, the workers who are working more and who are making productivity more, they should pay more in comparison to other workers. Right. So this study is related to that. Right. Next, scientific selection and training. Right, here the management should design some scientific measures and scientific techniques and procedures so that the right persons are selected at the right job. Right, there must be proper selection of employees through staffing function, effective staffing function, and there must be training of employees at every level, maybe at the initial level when he has joined the organization, and the ongoing training of the employees at every level after some time, when there is new technology arises and when they feel that this person needs a training, then it is the responsibility and work and technique of the organization to providing of training to the unskilled workers of the organization, so that the workers can boost their efficiency level and work on more effective manner for the organization for achievement of organizational goals and wants in the right way. Right. The sixth, functional foremanship. Functional foremanship is a broader concept, a broader technique of scientific management theory. Here we will discuss in a limited form, and for more broader explanation of this functional foremanship, I have also delivered. I will be also delivering a lecture and separately for this functional foremanship technique of scientific management. So you can also go through that lecture in future references. So here, scientific functional foremanship is related to, it involved the supervision and division of workers by several specialized foremen. For instance, for this purpose, the purpose of functional foremanship is to improve the quality of supervision of workers by employing specialized foremen. Right. In functional foremanship, there are 8 foremen in all the who all control the workers in who are working in the workshop. Right. The categorization of these 8 foremen are shown here. You can see a diagram in which factory manager is divided and categorized in the subordination, planning in charge and production in charge. The eight foremen of functional foremanship are here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. 4 are in planning in charge form, and 4 are in production in charge categorization. Right. So the planning in charge is the manager and supervisor for the 4 subdivisions, 4 categorization, 4 of the employees. In this, the first is instruction card clerk, who provides the instructions to the workers. Second, route clerk, who provide the route, that what will be the way and how the functioning will be move on in the organization. Right. Time and cost clerk, it is related to how much time should be incurred for completion of the particular task by an employee, and what will be the cost that has to be suffer on it. Right. And the last is disciplinarian. Disciplinarian is the responsible for the maintenance and providing guidance and of rules and regulations which has to be followed by the workers in the organization. Right. So this all four categorization of the employees will comes under the planning in charge. Planning in charge is basically related to the making of plan. It is the thinking function, right? Mostly related to thinking function. And production manager, production in charge, is related to implementation of plan. And the categorization of workers working under him, the 4 categorization, will perform the functioning in the workshop, right? So here the 4 categorization of this functional foremanship, production manager, are speed boss. Speed boss is the foreman, the first foreman of production in charge, in which the speed boss is related to notifying the speed and guarantee the time work for the factory employees and minimizing the production delay in the organization. Right. Next is gang boss. Gang boss is related to arrangement of materials, machineries, tools, and all the necessities, raw materials in the organization, in the workshop, so that the workers can perform their duties in the right way. Next, repair boss. Repair boss is related to proper maintenance of machines and availability of machine and tools, and maintain the overall work in the factory by proper arrangement of tools and all the necessities. Right. Last is inspector. Inspector is the person, is the employee or the foreman of the organization who is related to oversee the quality of the product who is performed and who is produced by the workers in the workshop. Right. So he is overviewing the quality of the product. So these all are the various categorization of employees under functional foremanship. And functional foremanship, there is 2 categorization, 2 main categorization: planning in charge, production in charge. Planning in charge is related to the mental ability of thinking and performing the duties, and this is related to the performance of the duties of various categorization of employees in the workshop. Right. Here There are 4 categorization here. There are 4 categorization total. There are 8 categorization of employees. The foremen working for the organization for the productivity, right? And all are related to working for together for guidance and support to the foremen. Foremen are the workers who are performing the work, who are making the productivity in the organization, right? So this is all about functional foremanship. For more detail, you can go through my next lecture for functional foremanship. Next technique, the seventh and the last technique of scientific management is different piece rate system. Different piece rate system is related to the worker who is producing more standard output in comparison to the worker who is performing less standard of output. So there is a comparison. The person who is working more and who is getting more output should be pay more, right, in comparison to the person who is not paying, who is not working more and who is not giving the right output as per the requirement. So in comparison to that employee, the worker who is performing good should be pay more, right? So in the form of, maybe in the form of bonus, incentives, or in form of increase in the salary, and by any means of appraisals towards the employees, right? So these all are the major 7 techniques of scientific management which are given by F.W. Taylor. So that these techniques have to be followed and implemented in a formal organization for increasing the efficiency of the employees working for the organization, so that the productivity can be increased in the right way, right? So hope you have understood this lecture, and for more related videos, do like, share and subscribe my channel, and thank you for watching my lecture. Have a nice day.